Hey YouTube, it's ShryphonX here. Today we're going to be talking about Kagurabachi Chapter 95. Like and subscribe for more content. Yura versus Azami. Will Azami change the Kamunabi? Kagurabachi Chapter 95 Spoilers. This chapter has 20 pages. Editor's note: The Gap of Gods. The first page features the cover for Kagurabachi Volume 9 to be released on October 4th, 2025. Editor's note: A past being spoken of? The chapter begins with the Kamunabi director, Kaisen, explaining his motivations for working with Ishaku. Ever since the old days, sorcerer clans, such as the Sazanami, have existed, but sorcery was always practiced underground, with no civilians able to know of its existence. However, the CDI War 18 years ago exposed the existence of sorcerers to Japan and the world because the war brought them out. Surprising how modernity could have hidden away sorcerer activities from the past. Kagurabachi and Jujutsu Kaisen are sharing similar histories. The Kamunabi was born from the aftermath of the war to bring order to chaos, a chaos brought about by sorcerers being exposed, showing off, and abusing their power. However, the Kamunabi may be powerful with its staff of sorcerers, but is still fairly young, such that it has no reach over the traditional sorcerer families. Essentially, the Kamunabi's power is limited to anyone that is not the powerful sorcerer families or their affiliates, meaning the nobility can get away with abuses of power. The Rakuzaichi incident is an example of the Kamunabi's failure due to their minimal oversight. It is akin to the ASEAN and other regional blocs that forge cooperation but lack the ability to enforce their compromises or statutes for protecting human and state dignity. Kaisen believes that the solution is to bring the sorcerer families under the rule of the Kamunabi for true order, but this requires absolute power in the form of the enchanted blades. Ichiki brings up how the Kamunabi had endless debates about this issue, and settled by saying that the enchanted blade Shinichi was responsible for the great sin, the malediction that killed 200,000 people. Kaisen argues what caused the malediction was not the sword but its user, the Sword Saint, so all they have to do is to execute the Sword Saint and find a new user who would be more stable. Ichiki remarks that while it is the sin of the Sword Saint, the enchanted blade bears equal responsibility as it responded to his call. The enchanted blades seem to have some level of sentience due to their spirit energy, almost like Bleach's Zanpakuto, who are essentially the other self of the user. Ichiki also mentions that even Kunishige Rokuhara, the creator of the enchanted blades, has no idea how far the potential of the enchanted blades can go, so there's always the possibility of a second malediction. Hence the decision to seal the Shinichi and instead focus on educating the next generation so that society can build peace together. Kaisen agrees that this was the consensus during the war, but insists that only the enchanted blades can secure the future. Back then, Kaisen had fewer men and resources, but now he feels confident and ready to take over the sorcerer world with the enchanted blades. While Ichiki agrees that pursuing order is a noble cause, Kaisen is taking the wrong side by allying with those who intend to destroy their precious, ordinary peace. Kaisen says he is willing to sacrifice anything to build a brighter future, including his dignity as Kamunabi leader. The enchanted blade users who will die when the Sword Saint does, Kunishige, who was killed by the Hishaku 3 years ago, and even Ichiki's people who will get in the way. As he prepares to power up, however, Kaisen is suddenly punched to the face by Azami, a punch so strong that he sent him flying and breaking through a wall while the older man's face was broken. Azami tells Ichiki to interrogate Kaisen while he goes off to clear his head after this betrayal. We return to the duel between Yura and Natsuki and Yura, where Yura is surprised by the amount of mental strain Kyora was able to reject. Hokuto lifts up a bookcase and is reminded of his job. Yura throws the two foes away while clutching his right arm. Yura is currently surrounded by multiple black orbs that manifest Magatsumi's power and activate Centipede, which launches the orbs across the area in all directions sporadically, leading to Ruha grabbing Natsuki hair so that they can both dodge. Yura feels the influence of the Sword Saint and declares his intent to kill him to completely own the sword. Yura's single-minded devotion to the Shinuchi, like Kyora's obsession, is what enables him to stay in control. Suddenly, Azami bursts into the scene, thinking about the terrible future that would take place if Kaisen was allowed to use the Shinuchi. Meanwhile, when interrogated, Kaisen says that the Shinuchi's power is ruthless, but then Ichiki recalls Kudu's words about Azami being on a whole other level, and remarks that Azami is as humble as ever about his ability. Kudu must have seen Azami's full potential, and so Ichiki is confident Azami can stop Yura. Azami gets Yura's attention and assures Kunishige's spirit that he can rest easy now. This chapter has so many unfinished rough drawings, especially towards the end, a sign that Hakazono needs to take a break. Next issue. To celebrate the second anniversary, a cover and a lead color page. Do enjoy it. Editor's note: Azami's hidden sorcery is... Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe for more content. ShryphonX out.